Joining me to talk about the brand new film Sarah's Oil, producer John Shepard. John is an NAACP Image Award winner, and he has 30 plus years of experience in independent filmmaking as both a producer and a studio executive. John, thanks so much for your time this morning.
My pleasure. Thanks for having us, Brock. Appreciate it.
This film is inspired by the remarkable true story of Sarah Rector. Take a couple of minutes and tell us about the real Sarah Rector. When did you first encounter her story?
You know, I'd never heard the story before. I was actually on a mission to find a movie about somebody who achieves the American dream or overcomes incredible adversity or stands up against, with unwavering faith in a dream that's bigger than them. And I was thinking it was something present day, somebody who founded a fast food chain or something. But I talked to my partner, my producing partner, director, Cyrus Narasta, and he said, I've got a story about somebody who overcame incredible odds, but it's from the turn of the century. But I think it's particularly relevant. Let me do some research. And he came back to me with his wife, Betsy. They just wrote an amazing script based on his research of what we do know about the real Sarah Rector, which is actually, Brock, pretty little. I mean, there's not a lot in the public record. So we really had to dig. Cyrus is a historian and a researcher. He found a book called Searching for Sarah Rector by Tanya Bolden, a historian, a Princeton historian. I went and got the rights, and we started cobbling together, not her whole life, but one special, unique, certain time in history when she realized her dream. And that's sort of the story of 11-year-old Sarah Rector.
John, give us some thoughts on the girl who plays Sarah, Naya Desir-Johnson. What is it about Naya that makes her the right fit for this role?
Naya, we probably saw 500 or 600 little girls from all over the country and from Canada and from everywhere you can imagine. We were looking. It was a nation because there's not many stars at 11 years of age, but they can play 11. And I think one of the reasons that took so many years for this movie to get made was I think God was waiting for this little girl, Naya, to become 10. So we started years ago, but we finally got it made. She turned 11 during production. It was something about her spirit. She came in, and Zachary Levi, who plays Bert, con man, conniver, hustler, we're not quite sure. But in the room, Zach is great with comedy. He's fantastic with improv. And she held her own. He made her laugh, but she gave it right back to him. She was spunky. She was feisty. She was quick on her feet. She was years ahead of her age. She just turned 12, so she's only 12 years old now. But you'll see in the movie, she's just somebody that wins your heart. She steals, I won't say she steals a movie, but she certainly steals your heart. But her and Zach on screen together are just magic. There's a chemistry there that can't be denied. And it was something, that was confirmed by Sarah's real family, who saw the film and said, "You've caught the spirit of our aunt." So that was encouraging.
Oh, that is so neat. This film is set in Oklahoma, Indian Territory. As you mentioned, it's 1913. Tell us more about recreating not only the physical space, but also capturing the mindset of the folks who may have lived in that place at that time.
Yeah, this was a very troubling time in our nation's history. And it was a time I didn't really know a lot about, especially in Oklahoma. And we shot in actual locations near Glenpool, where the oil was discovered, in 100-year-old historic buildings. So not only was the physical landscape and production design done beautifully by Amy Holmberg, but also we really had to put ourselves back in a time in history when there was a lot of division, not unlike and perhaps a little relevant to today. But there are still people with dreams. There are still good people and bad people on both sides of the aisle: black, white, rich, poor, Native American. It's really interesting how this little girl brought different, disparate people together into community or unity. And she got by with, certainly she had agency, but she got by with a little help from her friends. And I think there's an old saying, which I loved because it resonated so strongly in this movie. If you want to go fast, you go alone. If you want to go far, you got to go together. And she brought in Native Americans, the Black Creek freedmen, the white wildcatters, the oilmen. She brought everybody together to follow a dream. And it just spoke to my heart that, wow, look what we can do if we can just get past our differences. And what does it say in scripture? Faith, love, and hope, these three remain. But the greatest of these is, well, you got to see the film to see 1 Corinthians 13:13 lived out.
I thought the themes in Sarah's Oil were so intriguing because, in a sense, there are good guys and bad guys, but you also brought a lot of emotional nuance to the story, I thought. I could almost palpably sense the internal struggle, especially in one of the characters, between doing the wrong thing, the greed, the temptation, all of that, versus doing what they knew to be right.
Yeah.
What moral themes do you think come out of Sarah's Oil?
Well, certainly that's one. I mean, I relate to Bert, the wildcatter, who struggles with what to do and having integrity in my business, perhaps in your business, perhaps in any business. There's temptations to cut corners and take shortcuts, and it's about integrity. And Sarah is somebody who stands for integrity, honesty. We're not going to be like them just because they do it that way. And she talks to Bert about his soul. And to me, that's one of the big themes that comes out of this film is it's not about getting rich. It's not about making $1 bazillion with the biggest oil gusher in Oklahoma history. Life it's about relationships. And you can't take any of this with you. You can take the person next to you, maybe. That's what moved me about their story and their connection was she really never, I mean, for me personally, yeah, sure, I want to make a big hit movie and have a great opening November 7th. But in the end, if this changes one little girl's life or one person with a dream's heart or gives somebody the courage to stand up and say your value, your worthless deed, your inherited plot of land, your gift is not worthless. It has got untold riches, but you have to have the faith to go for it, to believe it, and not let anybody discount, dissuade, discourage, or destroy your dream or steal it. And that's, what I love about the themes of this movie is it's just so hopeful, inspirational. And certainly was a message I thought the world needed to hear, but turns out I was the one who needed to hear it the loudest, right?
It's not often you see a film that makes you think about your soul, but you're so right. This is one of them. Last question, John. What do you most hope people feel? And you were kind of talking about that just there. When they watch Sarah's Oil, what sort of feedback would you love to get?
Well, I think the feedback I'd love to get is that, especially for young people, and I think anybody that has a dream is a young person. I think that people need to realize that their dream has worth, but they've got to listen. I think it was Malcolm Muggeridge. You had a quote about God speaking to us all the time, but the secret of life is getting the message. Sarah listened. She listened to her gift, the land. She put her ear to the ground. I want people to come out of the theater going, what? There's another line in the movie that says, everything in life has moral, spiritual, or economic value. What do I have of value? And some people say, nothing. I've got nothing. Well, Sarah had nothing, but she had a purpose, a plan she believed from the Lord. And she walked in obedience and listened to him. And I think that's all the difference. That's what I want people to take away from it is you have value. There's a plan. There's a purpose. You got to listen and be open. Faith, hope, love. The greatest of these is love.
So good. Sarah's Oil opens in theaters November 7. Learn more, by the way, at sarahsoilfilminspires.com. sarahsoilfilminspires.com. Thanks so much, John, for your time this morning.
My pleasure. Thanks so much for getting the word out, helping us share Sarah's name with the world.